Hi, everybody. My name is Omid. I am the CTO of a new Bosch Technologies company, a daughter company of Bosch. And today I'm going to present you some of our experiences we made in last couple of years in the corporate and startup environment. And my presentation is basically 2 times. First is like what we did, what technologies we put, and how's our platform. And then sharing with you some of the experiences we made with technology, but also with our team, and how did we do this in more efficient way. So a lot of you heard about the name Bosch company. Is really like old company. And maybe you know only like dishwashers or washing machines from Bosch. But that's not our business. I'm coming from a software business of Bosch, which is called building technologies, building and energy technologies. And it's about providing efficiency and environmental, let's say, friendliness for commercial buildings. When we talk about commercial buildings, it's exactly like this building, like huge buildings, which are controlled by computers and not really manually. So we talk about airports, we talk about train stations, and other buildings which are controlled by a system so-called building management system or building automation systems. But that's our, let's say, business for last 100 years. And now we are going more into the new challenges with our customers, which is mainly the environmental impact of the building. So for years, we just automate the buildings, we just use the building. But now there is a huge demand of, let's say, making buildings smart and more environmental friendly. And apart from that, there are so many challenges at the moment in the industry, but also especially in Europe and Germany with energy prices and crisis and the costs. And on the other side, there are a lot of, let's say, old buildings currently in the market, which are, let's say, demanded to be renovated and more, let's say, getting efficient. On the other side, there are some regulations and pressures coming from authorities and governments to make the buildings more efficient, but also more friendly with the environment, also next generations. And here we are. I mean, the first element that we look in the buildings is automation of the building, making the building smart. But apart from that, buildings are generating vast amount of data. In the same time, you have a lot of information and data regarding the sensors, but also the systems in the building, and also the personas in the building. At the moment, buildings are generating a lot of data regarding the property management, facility management. Waste is the topic now because waste is getting really expensive, and then energy is always the topic. And then apart from that, building is center of, let's say, data production for other systems like ERP system, cloud systems, all the applications which are running inside the building, but also with the users in the building. So this is our journey to take all this data in our platform and make some analysis and also values for our customers. So what we do is we build a central platform together with Microsoft, and our platform is able to collect all of this data around the building. We normalize the data, not only like putting them in the database, but we build a digital twin technology also with Microsoft together, which semantically annotate all this data. We normalize the data, we clean the data, and we make sure that the data is already in the right quality and right privacy and security for our customers hosted in our platform. And what we do is, by generating this digital twin, first of all, we make the data more available to third parties, but also for analysis such as AI analysis and generating like business intelligence. We enable our customers with really better services. So as you can see here on the right side, this is an example of a typical office building. And yeah, the building is already onboarded in our system. You see we already generated 2 ontologies for that. One is the space ontology, and one is the HVAC ontology, which stands for the air conditioning systems. And by generating the digital twin, we already able to expose the APIs to other systems. In the same time, we read the data, and on the other side, AI is providing the additional services and added value and commanding the building. So how does it work in a simple language? In this building, we have the problem of energy efficiency and not environmental compatibility. And by reading this and optimizing this, we are getting kind of 30% to 40% of better consumption and efficiency for this building. So how do we do this? We have our own core ontology called Susteco Real Estate Ontology, and we are able to collect the data from very different sources like ESG, ERP system, utility data, waste data, and our ontology or our core digital twin system is able to host them in one, let's say, core digital twin database. And on top, we provide APIs and documentation to our partners, which is another added value. I will talk about this later. At the moment, our ontology is supporting all these 6 standards, which are very famous in the industry. DTDL is basically coming from Microsoft. It's core of the Azure Digital Twin. RDF is the open, let's say, ontology system, which is very well established in the market. BACnet, maybe you don't know, but it's a primary building automation protocol being used in our systems. And Haystack is the US standard here. And on top of that, we are able to talk to Real Estate Core. Our ecosystem is currently built out of 45 companies and partners. And that's another value proposition we do currently have, and to, let's say, build a platform together with the partners and not really doing everything at home at Bosch. This is the latest architecture and release of the platform. As you can see, this is a very end-to-end IoT platform, which includes the different systems at the building, including the gateways, including IoT sensors, and many different systems depending on the building, which is really diverse at the moment in the Europe and North America. And there we have also integrations for the IT systems, such as SAP system, waste systems, and different ERP systems. On top of that, we have the platform layer, which we are operating currently together with Microsoft, based on Microsoft Azure. We have a lot of microservices in order to collect the data, but also to process data and make them available for different sorts of applications via our API federation services. And on top, we provide our full API, automated API systems to make the data available to different systems, but also to read the data, to collect the data from different partners. And we have our own applications as well on top to provide services to our customers. So this platform is not something new in this industry, but the main difference here is the way we build it. And that's the main, let's say, purpose of my presentation, to share this here. First of all, the main experience we made with the partner ecosystem, building this with the co-innovation, really boost our experience. So basically, in the past, it took us about 10 years in this industry to build such platform, because this industry is mainly based on the hardware and quality. But then we completely changed our approach to agile approach with co-innovation and co-development with the partners. And we also changed completely our culture. Thanks to being independent from the company, like kind of a spin-off, we changed also our development approach and team. First of all, we put diversity. I mean, that's the first experience I can share with you. In the first place, diversity is a big challenge in Europe due to the far distance, and also working with the offshore and nearshore is always challenging due to the time zone, different cultures, different ways of working. But in the beginning, we try to bring or convert this challenge into the opportunity for us. And, okay. I have, what happened? All right, okay, it's back. Exactly. I mean, this transition from, let's say, challenge to opportunity took us some time and some effort, but at the end, it brought us a lot of values in development because you work with different kind of people. I mean, at the moment, we have teams from Singapore, from Hong Kong to India, to Bulgaria, to Poland, to Germany, and US. And we made all these teams working together. So we got some benefits out of that, especially with the time zones. We have the teams working really 24/7 for us. But the other benefit we got is the different mindset and different way of looking into the problem and implementation, which is in the beginning so challenging to understand, but we made it working in a better way, and we increased the efficiency comparing to the beginning of the working only in one continent. So maybe another things I can share with you is how we could do the platform much faster, and the main answer is about empowerment of the team. I mean, it's sometimes it's getting really ignored by development or CTOs, but the empowerment is really the key to really release the software packages or release the things much faster and much more efficient. There are different elements to enable the empowerment. One element here is the increasing the team transparency. This is a really crucial element in order to empower the teams. There are so many, let's say, development teams and companies out there which are not really involving the tech people into the business vision. So basically, the tech is the IT machine somewhere getting requirements and delivering the sprint results in the best case. But what we did, we changed this approach differently. We try to bring also the business idea and the business vision to the technical team. And at some point, people provide the feedback to us that this is not really useful. Why do we do this, or why do you waste the time? But we try to continuously do this, and we see really positive results after some time in there. First of all, we got a better efficiency because the development team is able to understand and navigate how this, let's say, value is transactioning from the whole, let's say, requirement into the software development and then release for the customers. And they get a better, let's say, motivation and also better passion to work on the software in a more transparent way. But after some time, we surprisingly also understood that they are also contributing to the idea, sometimes with the requirements. And for example, let's do this in this way, which is better for the customer than the other way. And most of them are very valuable, and we use this. And on the other side, there was also a lot of gaps and problems between the business teams, like product management and business, and also software development. But by bringing the vision of the business and bringing the outcome for the business, we got the better results in terms of better understanding and better, let's say, digesting the requirements for the software development team. That was the first one. And the second one was to improve the collaboration and team culture. And what does it mean? I mean, you could always say, like, the collaboration and team culture is good with me, but in reality, when you little bit zoom in, you see a lot of problems in the teams. And we try to little bit work on it by bringing the new team culture. So we understood, like, a team culture is like a glue to improve this and also to increase the team, let's say, efficiency and team collaboration. And the answer we understood from, let's say, all analysis and interviews with the team is the passion. It might be just like a buzzword, but nothing would work efficiently like a passion, because there are two ways of getting results. Either you get paid to the people, like you pay to the people, and then let them, like a machine, bring the results to you. But if you pay to the people and make them passionate about what they do, there is a difference of getting results. And we always come back to our founder, Robert Bosch, 1861, which was a great entrepreneur that time in Germany. I mean, this guy's really shifted the German history. Like these guys like Bosch or Siemens, they did so many great things. And at some point we forgot to refer to them, but now we are like really looking at the way they worked with the leadership approach they had. And he's saying like nothing great in the world has been accomplished without passion. Of course, that time he also paid to his people, but in a different way, which I'm coming to that. So at some point we answered this fundamental question to us, is it a developer like an entrepreneur, or is it entrepreneur is a developer? Because we really zoom in to find how to improve and empower the team. And this was one of the fundamental questions that we got. And then by looking at the successful entrepreneurs, even in the history, we understood that they had already a development mindset. So Robert Bosch was not only a businessman who doesn't take care of anything about the development and say, I only do my business. He was a super technical developer. Developer not in the sense of software or what you know as a software or cloud technology today, but in that time with developing the technologies for the cars and hardware, for example. And surprisingly, when we also studied that, we understood also he was an agile developer. So not agile in terms of Jira and Sprint, but he was just doing this really with the agile mindset of doing the thing, learning from this, even failing, and do it again. So he was really continuously doing the development and innovations in an agile way. So what he says is the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. A mistake is only a mistake if you don't learn from this. And this is the fundamental for agile. I mean, who is familiar with agile in this room? Of course, this is one of the fundamentals and basics for agile. And he applied this like 150 years ago to invent the ignition for your cars. So whenever you use your car today to ignite it and go to work, of course not the EV, but the normal cars, he's the first guy in the world who invented that and brought it to the market. And today, there is no car in the world which doesn't have any part from Bosch, so we can guarantee you. So Bosch is one of the biggest manufacturers of the car parts in the world. So yeah, we come to the conclusion for this question that developer is really an entrepreneur, and entrepreneur is also a developer. So that means we are not really only coders to be replaced by AI, but in the future, developers and tech people in this industry are getting more and more into entrepreneurial mindset, not to get the requirements and code, but to get the business ideas and let AI code for you, but then release it to the market. So that's a fundamental shift we see also in the future, and we try also to build our platform in this way, not to let's say deal with our developers like a machine, but like an entrepreneur. The other element is really empathy. I mean, this is something that is, especially in some companies, are getting ignored or skipped by managers. But we again come back to Robert Bosch and see how he was successful. He says, I don't pay good wages because I have a lot of money. I have a lot of money because I pay good wages. So this perspective for that time was really unique because he was not working for money. He was working for the passion, for invention, but also for the people. And he's the first guy who made the HR or working consoles in the history. So he built apartments for his workers, and he put a lot of loans and other things for his workers. And we try to reestablish this also in the team to have better empathy with the team, not only to pay them, but also to ask them how we can support you, for example, with other topics that you are in the pressure. And even this question, without providing any solution, is really a lot for the team, and they appreciate it, and this also contributes to the empowerment and the passion. And last but not the least is the leadership approach. Unfortunately, the corporate leadership today in many directions is not really passionating and providing a lot of motivation to the people. We are getting more and more to the boss approach, like some leaders who doesn't want to take care of the content or what you do, but only like to take care of business and numbers and let the others just deliver the results. And then they celebrate. And we understood when you work together with a team, it brings a lot of values and results in a better way, because team is feeling the leaders just working with them, understanding what is the problem, understanding what is the challenges, and deliver together. And then for the next iterations or next sprints is even getting better. So that's also another element that we experience in our in our development. So at the end, I have to say that the whole thing at the moment is in transition, especially thanks to new technologies, new cultures, new generations, and AI. And developers to us are going to be kind of more entrepreneurs and different in the future. And I think those who are accepting this and going to this direction are getting better, let's say, acceptance also in the market, but also in the business in the future. So developers are not really any coders in the future, but more to the direction of, let's say, business ideas and driving the innovations. Yeah, thank you. Any questions?
Thank you so much. And any questions from anyone? I have one. In the meantime, you mentioned about empathy. Obviously, I'm a big advocate for empathy in all aspects of your life. My question is, do you think empathy is something that can be taught? Or is it something you're born with?
Oh, yeah. So something to be taught or born with it?
Do you think empathy is something that can be taught to a person, or is it something that you are born with?
I mean, that's a good question. You never know that, especially in our environment. You have to deal with a lot of nerdy and geeky, let's say, culture. But I would say, as a human being, there is always rooms for empathy. Either you're born with it or you teach it, but there is always the way to find the motivation and empathy in a person, even in a developer. And sorry to say that, because I'm originally also a developer for the last 20 years, and I'm learning the soft skills, but I think it's a really, really important element for a leader or a manager of the team to empower the people with better empathy and not really dealing with them like the machines. It's super important for me as a developer as well.
And we all understand about like leaders being empathetic and stuff, but how can a developer represent empathy with the development work? Like, are there any best practices that developers can follow in their day-to-day lives to put empathy in practice and just, make the overall team and company work with it?
There are some examples we've seen. However, it's not really important developers show the empathy to developer work, but it's more important how developer is converting the empathy to the passion and getting better results and make him happy at the end and you appreciate it really well. So that's something that a lot of managers are ignoring. You get the result and say, go, okay, bye. Especially here in this environment. But you need to really appreciate the people, showing them the results, and passionate them for the next iterations. You never forget, like, there is a continuous sprint running, and you have to always learn from this. Even if they fail, you have to appreciate the results and look at the effort which is already made. And that's a very important element to empower the empathy as well.
Cool. Anyone else? Any questions? Yeah? One, and then go there.
Hi.
Hey.
Thank you. Yes, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for all the highlighting points which you put in this presentation. That was very interesting.
Good.
I have this conflict over the thing which you said that developers in the future could be entrepreneurs as well. The thing which I have observed for a long time in myself and in other developers as well is this: we tend to solve the problems which doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of being an entrepreneur, where you have to solve the problems, and only the problems which exist in the society or in the market. So how to shift this mindset to the entrepreneurial mindset rather than, solving the problem because it is a very beautiful problem. It's not needed. Yeah, that's my question.
Yeah. Obviously, the person who also solves the problem which is not exist is also entrepreneur. But entrepreneur maybe without a result. The best example is laser. So that time they invented that, there was no problem for that. But now today it's very well established technology in the market. And I would say that people are also entrepreneurs. So if you mean like entrepreneur is only the successful one who gets like a lot of revenue, I would disagree, because there are so many examples of the entrepreneurs even did something and then the technology or solution used in the future. To the other part of the questions, yes, I mean, even if you make a feature or user story or very small app or implementations, to me, this is kind of entrepreneur work. So you are already entrepreneur or a micro-entrepreneur. It's not really necessarily to be Steve Jobs or Bill Gates to be entrepreneur. You are entrepreneur of your app when you make it. So I'm talking not to have the role models or examples. I'm talking like to have the mindset of building something new, like a mobile app or even a feature. And I believe that in the future, the direction, the transition of developers to this mindset would really happen, because the technology is already there. The AI is already there. What you need is to have a little bit of vision to tell them what to build and then deliver it. But then you need to know the fundamentals of the stupid AI or other things, not doing the mistake in your path to build your product. Does it make sense?
Hi, can you guys, okay, can you hear me? First of all, amazing topic, and I would like to dig a little bit deeper in the diversity topic that you touched upon, because you were talking about team culture, empathy, empowerment.
Yep.
Sorry. And as somebody that comes from like Southern Europe to like mid-Europe, I can already notice a culture shift, like way people think and act and all of these topics. And with how diverse of a team you have, how did you guys deal with these struggles of all of these social and soft skills and ways of thinking clashing from your personal life towards your work life?
Obviously, this is a really, really big challenge for every diversity, especially to the cultural shift in different zones. However, two things really helping here. First of all, you need a very clean and simple process of the work. defining the roles and rules. So understanding like how the personas are working, what is the responsibilities, and how the process is working. But not overcomplicate it like big companies, because the people doesn't follow that. And the second element is we have regular meetings and, let's say, connections between the team to work with each other, to understand with each other. And also we have kind of leaders in my team in order to avoid conflict. So we made a lot of trainings, like intercultural trainings for our leaders, and our leaders know how to bring the people together and how to avoid conflict, how to describe the things for each other. So 3 elements, roles and responsibilities and rules, good processes, and meetings. Meetings are really important. And good leaders with the background of how to manage the intercultural and let's say, continental teams together. Make sense?
Thank you. Yeah, of course.
Sure, of course.
Give you the mic.
Passion. I'm really interested. And by the way, I really like to have a passion. A developer to have a passion is the most important thing. I also agree fully. But the problem is with the diversity. When it increases, and I mean, how are you managing that? Because different cultures and different diversity points have different kind of aims and also goals for having a passion points. Also hiring. I mean, already hired people, if they're like, I don't know, like very old at the end of their career, how they're thinking about passion is a bit difficult for them. They say, okay, let's keep things like this. I don't want to change it. I can work with that, but how are you doing this? That's the most, for me, actually very interesting part.
That's also another big challenge. You're right. It's really different for individuals. However, we made 2 experiences about these 2 elements. First is purpose. We try to bring the purpose, a unity of purpose, to the team. And the purpose is very high level, in a way that anybody with any age or any background can find passion in there, with a very flexible and open way of working. And the second is we try to bring the unity in the team. A united team, independent from diversity and location and everything, to bring the unity to the team. And then it's like a football team. Even if you are old or, I don't know, not really passionate, with unity, the engine is kind of pushing you into the passion. So 2 important elements for this is to bring the purpose, a right purpose, to the team, and to bring the unity to the team is really important. Cool.
Anyone else before we wrap it up? All right, let's give a huge round of applause to Omid.
Thank you.
Thank you.